Hey guys, Zect here and welcome to my new video. Today with the Awakening Hashashin rework or mini rework. Awakening Hash actually got like a last minute change rework for Awakening. So this is not for Succession or pre-Awakening, this is purely mostly Awakening that's got affected and the passive changes. We will go through all the skills that got changed and I will do like side-by-side comparisons, so I will not talk too much about numbers. I will show this to you in the screen. So first off, we start with the passive skills. Probably most people know this already. Hashashin got his accuracy skills nerfed, so there's no more accuracy as a passive for Awakening. However, for Suck you still have the 5% succession accuracy, though you get like I think it's 12 AP and still your 10% evasion. That's actually a bit more, like it was 6% with the 63 passive. So when you were not 63, it was 5% of all evasion, and now it's 10% all evasion. So we got buffed when it comes to evasion. We got a nerf from 10% of accuracy. That's actually a lot. A lot of people don't like this. 12 AP is like roughly 1 AP bracket when you get like an gain with an AP bracket when you have higher AP. But those 12 AP definitely is not as good as the 10% accuracy. However, in Awakening he got a lot of damage buffs, so maybe this will compensate this a bit, but against like heavy evasion builds this will probably end up being a bit weaker, but obviously we have to see when this comes live. So for the first skill we start in the Awaken kit is Arl's Grace. What's our ebuff? They changed it. It was 30% crit rate, 15% accuracy rate and 20% attack speed before, and now they added crit damage and all AP to it. What's really nice, this will give you a lot of extra damage, so I guess when you know ebuff and you catch someone, like, he will probably die. This ebuff is now really strong. I really like that change. However, ebuff changes are nice to have, but you can just activate them for every 3 minutes. But however, this will definitely give you a good chunk of of damage, sorry. So the next skill we have that got changed is the grab. So before the changes, before this rework, we could just grab when our weapon was in the left hand. So as you can see, my Awakening weapon is now on the right hand, and they, like most people probably know, that the side dash to the left and then you can instantly grab. This now applies also to all directions and for some skills as well. So there are some restrictions. You can't grab after Ensnaring Sands, Veracity, Condemnation, and there was a third one, I actually can't remember that. But like after your SA skills, it's not you're not able to grab fast. However, after all the dashes you can grab fast, what is really good. This will make the grab way more unpredictable, and you also can grab after Silent Breach, what is really good. So you can you can engage better, but we'll come to this when we go to Silent Breach. So all grab restrictions basically got changed. We can grab cancel now after every dash in every direction and after some skills, what's really good. The next skill that got changed is Hourglass of Ricoh. So normally Hourglass of Ricoh was the back teleport, like the instant back teleport from your from everything pretty much. If you had your tornadoes up, it was an unsafe move before, even though it was really fast. Now it's an iframe into super armor, so it's way more viable, especially when it comes to group fights. Also 1v1s, but group fights is what I will look here. For example, if you put your tornado up now and you go in with one of your biggest A skills, you can instantly go back from iframe into, say, what will make this really safe. You will not get CC'd anymore. This happened to me a lot actually sometimes when I wanted to use that. And you still need to watch the cooldown. Sadly, they didn't change the Hourglass of Defiance in general. I hope they will maybe change or adjust the skill a little bit. But I think that's fine to give it an iframe into SA. Will make the skill a lot more viable, especially when it comes to group fights. The next skill that changed is Dune Slash. Dune Slash is one of your big, let's say, follow-up after grab, after float, because the stiff into knockdown. You mostly use that for comboing. They buffed the damage on it. The PvP modifiers are still the same, and they buffed the numbers for PvP and PvE, what's really nice. So we just got a good chunk of damage here for Dune Slash. It's also a bit faster, I think. But yeah, like Dune Slash, really nice skill, got changed. I absolutely love this, just more damage. The next skill is Dune Strike, is the flow of Dune Slash. So this was normally your evasion shred skill. They removed the evasion shred from Dune Strike, moved it somewhere else. We will come to this later. And they also buffed the damage. They buffed the damage by 10%. What is really nice, 10% damage increase will also buff your combo damage. Moreover, they added an air attack, and this is where the big damage comes in, because when you go from Dune Slash into Dune Strike, you mostly have the air attack available. So because the target is still in the air from the knockdown, what is a really nice change, because air attack is the strongest modifier, or one of the strongest modifiers when it comes to PvP modifiers. Also PvE, but this is mostly for PvP, I guess. And this will make the skill way stronger when it comes to pure damage. However, they also added a down smash to that skill. Why? I'm not really sure why they did this. I already tested this in PvP on Global Labs. It seems like that the knockdown is too fast and the target is still airborne, and the down smash does not apply. The thing is, you only can use Dune Strike after Dune Slash. So I'm not too sure why they added a down smash to Dune Strike. In my opinion, it's actually a nerf if this will apply. For example, you go for Dune Slash knockdown, and then you go for Dune Strike, and you instantly apply the knockdown. Then you the down smash, your CC time will lower by a lot, and the target will stand up instantly. So this either is a nerf. It's definitely not a buff to the skill, because it's way too early in your combo chain, where you most likely want to have the down smash at the end and not like at the middle or the start of your combo. So I don't really know why they added this, and maybe we'll see this removed at some point. In my opinion, it's completely pointless. If it was possible to use Dune Strike after a few other skills, like, I don't know, like maybe after, like, I don't know, Collapse or Silent Breach, or even other skills, to use it at the end of your combo as well, then this would make much more sense. But with this being added, I'm not too sure. The only reason why I could see this actually viable, when your target is already CC capped and then you go for Dune Slash, Dune Strike, but like the situations where you use that is like really low, so I'm not too sure why they added this. The next skill they changed is Collapse. Collapse as well, they buff the damage, and they also, the Collapse damage applies from the first hit now, the full range. Right now it was like a bit scuffed sometimes when your target was not directly in front of you. The damage was a bit lower in the first hit. However, they changed this now, and it applies all hit at the first instance, what's really good. They also moved the evasion debuff from Dune Strike to Collapse. This is a good change in my opinion, because this will give you more diversity when it comes to your combos, because when you want to apply the evasion debuff combo, you always had to use Dune Strike, and this Collapse you can use in a more variety of combos, and this will also allow you to debuff your opponent when you're not using Dune Slash or Dune Strike, or when they're on cooldown. So I think that's a good change that they added this to Collapse instead of Dune Strike. Makes sense in my opinion. And they buffed the PvP modifiers, so they lowered it. But actually, I think it's also nearly 10%, really decent in my opinion. So a lot more damage here for Dune Strike for Collapse as well. What they also changed, they made Dune Slash into Dune Strike into Collapse way faster. This was one of the combos you used mostly against adamantine players, so people that run a lot of knockdown resistance. You mostly get the grab, then you get the Dune Slash with the stiffen at the start, then into the knockdown, into Dune Strike, and then you try to get a float if your target resists the knockdown. This was sometimes, especially for us console players, this was really not reliable often. This is why I used Silent Breach after Dune Strike a lot to get the float if my target resisted. This is now faster with Collapse, and chains way faster and way more fluent into each other, and I really like that. So you always can use Dune Slash into Dune Strike into Collapse now, what is a really good change in my opinion. I think that was all for Collapse, not more to it. The next skill we have Silent Breach. And Silent Breach, they took away the float in PvP and they gave it a frontal guard, and I absolutely love this. 4-second movement skill that does not consume stamina. It locks your stamina but does not consume it. With a frontal guard for Awakening Hush is really good. You have way more like options to block the damage away now. Because in the Awakened kit you didn't like had that many like engaged frontal guards or damage frontal guards or something. They also buffed the damage a lot, like, and they nerfed the PvP modifiers, so they made them higher, like by 10%, but I still think it will definitely do more damage, also because they added a down attack modifier to Silent Breach, what will make it way more stronger, way more stronger in combos, because when you use it now in a combo and your target is on the ground, it will just apply the normal damage without any modifiers, so outside crit, of course, but now you also get the down attack modifier, so this will also do way more like damage when it comes to comboing. Really nice change. I absolutely love that. They also changed the input, and here's one thing I'm not really sure if I will like this or if I just have to get used to it. So for us console players, it's A. I'm actually not too sure what it's for PS, sorry. So it's basically, if you play Awakening Hush, it's the same as Ulster Minion. So normally I often use to like as a float combo or little burst combo, especially when it comes to group fights, like Collapse into Ulster Minion. This is not possible anymore. Now you use Collapse, for example, into Silent Breach into Ulster Minion, so you get the Silent Breach in between. I guess there are definitely some ways where this is like makes more sense, but yeah, I'm not too sure if I like this yet. I definitely have to get more used to that, but we will see when this comes out and how useful this will be. However, if you pick the Collapse core skill, I think this will definitely be way more viable now. This actually is a good thing because you can engage full frontal guard with a float into a good damage skill, because Silent Breach still is air attack, it got the damage buff, and down attack as well for combos, so this is really good. When it comes to inputs, I'm not too sure if I like this. And there's also another engage I want to show you, because you can grab after Silent Breach, what will be really strong. Like you can grab the cancelled version instantly, so you can go into like from an iframe into a frontal guard, into a range grab, what will be really strong. And because of the grab changes, the grab is now a super armor when you apply a successful hit. For example, this will be crazy strong on small scale, maybe also usable for large scale. But yeah, this will be, in my opinion, this will be really good, like a really decent engage, like Silent Breach into grab. Super fast, unpredictable when it comes from like any direction, and really good. The other thing what's really good about this is your block jump is pretty much safe. Probably not all, because the from Arid Assault it's still like it's like the CC itself is still unsafe, but you can instantly cancel this with your FG Silent Breach now. What will okay, I casted Ulster Dominion now after this. But what will pretty much make your Arid Assault way safer to cancel it instantly with a frontal guard. I absolutely love that. You also can go into an iframe into like directly and can start your combo with like Piercing Fang, Inquisition, Dune Slash, Collapse, like whatever you want. It's a really good change, and I really like that. Like I really like this. The next skill we have is Ensnaring Sense. So Ensnaring Sense got buffed as well. Now it applies a first hit damage skill when you use it. Like normally when you start using Ensnaring Sense, there was a vacuum phase, like where he prepared kind of the skill, and this applied no damage. Now it applies damage. This is not so big in PvP in my opinion. We have to see, obviously, when it comes live. But in PvE, this is definitely decent because you already damage the mobs when you do the vacuum phase. So this is definitely a damage buff for both PvP and PvE. Moreover, they added a 30% debuff for attack speed, casting speed, and movement speed to that skill. Like before, it was a 40% movement speed debuff. Now it actually applies all three debuffs to it, 30%. So Ensnaring Sands actually is like a proper grave digging now, like Warrior, for example. It applies the same amount of debuff as a Warrior grave digging, and probably most people know how annoying this can be when you fight a Warrior. Moreover, they increased the activation speed and made Ensnaring Sands faster. Like the previous version, it's not as much as I thought, but it's still faster. For large skill, I don't know how viable this will be, but we have to see when it comes live. But Ensnaring Sands, really good buffs. Absolutely love this, and I just love that. It's a really nice change. Next, Flow Condemnation. The flow from the Ensnaring Sands, or after you can also use it after Dune Slash, or after Velocity, and yeah, they buffed the damage. Straight up PvP damage buff, no PvE damage buff, just they buffed it by 5%. Just more PvP damage for pretty much everything. Combos, trade-in, like, will be really, really nice to see how much damage it does. 5% is like, it's not a lot, but it's definitely probably noticeable when it comes to modifiers and stuff. So yeah, we have to see how this will turn out. The next is Serpent's Coil. Serpent's Coil actually got a crazy damage buff, especially in PvE. Like, I already moved to Star's End and tested this a little bit. I copied my gear like 1-to-1 from my original account, and this skill alone can clear mob pack now. I absolutely love this. The damage increase is actually crazy. And also in PvP, by the way, they nerfed the PvP modifiers by 3%, so it's a bit more now, but still the damage increase is so high, like number-wise, that this skill will also like deal way more damage in PvP. I'm not too sure like how big, because it's still nearly 70%, right? 70% or 68% is still like a lot. So yeah, they removed the all accuracy debuff on the skill and made it into evasion buff by 12% for 5 seconds. This does not stack with your dash. So when you dash and you have your evasion buff up and you use Serpent's Coil, the Serpent's Coil evasion buff will replace the buff from your dash. So you pretty much get a 12% evasion buff for 5 seconds while you're on Serpent's Coil, what will boost your tankiness, obviously. And at this point, with the passive buff for evasion, the Serpent's Coil buff for evasion, if you put an add-on to this, you actually can go up to 26 plus evasion rate percentage-wise. It's really, really good. Like when you 4% add-on, 12% from Serpent's Coil, and 10% from your passives. Really strong, in my opinion. So at this point, I think it's pretty clear that Hush is a really good evasion class now, and it will probably make him more tanky. Moreover, they changed the range of Serpent's Coil. Also, Velocity. Let's quickly go into Velocity before we showcase that. Velocity got more damage overall, so it's stronger in PvE. Sorry, they nerfed the PvP modifiers. So I did the math on this already, like calculating the PvP modifiers, the PvP damage. It's actually a little bit less, but like we are talking a few percent. I'm still not sure if I do the math 100% correctly on this. So they nerfed the PvP damage by 5, but they gave it more damage overall. So I guess in PvP it will end up being the same. In PvE it will be a really good buff. It's definitely stronger now. I absolutely love this. So just a little buff for Velocity. They also increased the range of Velocity, so I will quickly showcase that. And they also made Serpent's Coil use no stamina when you spin in. However, you can't spin as long anymore as you could before, what is absolutely fine. It's pretty much you deal all the damage you can do on a full Serpent's Coil on the live version right now, just in shorter duration, what is really good. And the range increase is absolutely nuts in my opinion. I absolutely love this, especially also when it comes to velocity. Moreover, they changed the speed from Serpent's Coil into velocity. You can pretty much velocity instantly now. What is really nice in my opinion. Like, this will make trading way better. It's still not the fastest skill to trade, but it's definitely more viable now to trade with velocity than it was before. So yeah, I absolutely love that changes. For the Crown Kick, one of my favorite skills actually, I think, because it's like, it's one of my favorite skills by far. They changed the damage numbers. They gave it more damage percentage-wise, but they also added a PvP minus modifiers. And right now, it has like lower damage, like, but it has zero like full damage PvP. So Crown Kick actually was a really strong skill when it comes to PvP, especially because of the air attack. For example, when you do like a air silent breach into Crown Kick right now, it's a really like a good chunk of damage. Obviously, with the new silent breach, this will not possible anymore. However, they also added a 50% crit rate, and this is really strong because when you calculate the damage from Crown Kick, it's actually a bit less than the live version right now. So percentage-wise, the skill deals less damage in PvP, but because of the 50% crit rate, this will definitely be more damage, because right now it's 0% crit. It's a buff in Awakening for PvP. It's a buff for PvE, especially for PvE. And they also added a 40 MP per hit. This was much needed in my opinion. Like, Awakening Hush, when I use my fairy with pots, he eats pots like candies. I get like a few thousand every day for my grind, and they're always empty, so I definitely appreciate that. What they also changed, they added a 10% attack speed buff to Crown Kick. This also does not stack with your attack speed buff from Sand Slicer, so you either can get the Sand Slicer or the Crown Kick. I think they also increased the attack speed of Crown Kick a bit. I will show this in comparison. Yeah, this is a really nice change in my opinion. Crown Kick faster, it got more damage, and that's a really nice change. I absolutely love that. So yeah, Crown Kick definitely stronger now. Obviously, this will definitely still be one of my top tier add-ons, like go for add-ons. Right now, I only use the down smash chance and a bleed on this, but maybe because this will probably also one of your skills you will use PvE now a lot, I will probably PvE spec and use the monster damage because it's a tier 3 add-on, and because of the attack speed, right, you will probably use it all the time at the kind of the start of your PvE combo now. And this will, like, you also can buff yourself with 30% monster damage or maybe something else then. This will also be really strong in my opinion. So Crown Kick got changed. Oh, there was also one change, like I forgot. Sometimes when you used Crown Kick in a combo and your character was facing in one direction that was not directly on your target, he Crown Kicked like away from your target. So they changed this now. The Crown Kick does move with your camera and not with your like in the direction where your character is looking. What is really nice, it didn't happen that often, but often enough to really piss me off sometimes. So this is just a little quality of life change to Crown Kick. So I absolutely love this, especially for console. I think this happened more on console than on PC. Retribution also got changed. They buffed the damage. They also nerfed the PvP modifiers though. So yeah, not much more to say. They buffed the PvE damage. It will just do more damage in PvE. The skill is pretty much the same. It will deal no damage in PvP. It's not a PvP skill when it comes to damage. It will be a PvE skill. However, they also changed it. When you backdash into Retribution right now on live servers, he does like a really scuffed slow version from it. And it was really hard to use Mirage from that fast version of Retribution, so I absolutely love that. When you backchase now and do it, he will do the full duration, the full length of the skill, what is really good in my opinion. And yeah, this will also make it easier to use it after a backchase. So yeah, I absolutely love this. So yeah, this was then it for the Awakening changes. I absolutely love those changes. There's the only thing I need to get used to is the new input for Silent Breach, and that I can't use Ulster Minion after Collapse anymore. However, everything else pretty much got like buffed. He's more tanky. He lost the accuracy, so this is huge. Even though Awakening got buffed and everyone's like nice changes, the accuracy nerf, it will be noticeable. However, he got more damage in pretty much his whole kit. Like, I would say he got more damage across the board. When it comes to like his combo damage will be way stronger. His trading damage will also be stronger, maybe not way stronger, but stronger. I still think he will not be a crazy good large scale class overall. I don't say you can perform with him on large scale, but when it comes to big sieges and blob fighting, I don't think he will be like in there. Like, when it comes to compare to Awakening against Succession, I think a lot more people will go Awakening now than Succession. Awakening is still like harder to play than Succession, in my opinion. I will have to test in large scale. I will definitely test him in a large scale when those changes come live. However, I just think the stealth and the burst from Succession is just too good for large scale. And but yeah, we have to see. I absolutely love those changes. I can't wait for them, and I actually may consider staying Awakening Hush with those changes, depending on how this will turn out. But getting those buffs, he will be way better in small scales, even stronger in 1v1s. And yeah, he will be like really good. Like this debuffs that you got on top of your quicksand debuff, it will be really strong. With that being said, guys, thanks for watching, and leave a like and a sub. Post something in the comment if you have any questions, or if I forgot something, or what you want to add something. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see us next time.